Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Laura Bakewell and here we bake things pretty well. Today we're going to be making a pizza dough together. So let's get started. The first thing that we're going to do is, you don't have to put it in a stand mixer, just so you know. I'm choosing to do so because it's easier to mix that way rather than by hand. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to add 1 cup of your flour. So in here I have 2 1/3 cup all-purpose flour. You could also use bread flour if you wanted to. Bread flour will give it a crunchier texture for your pizza. I'm using all-purpose flour because it will give me a nice soft dough kind of texture, nice soft pizza. You're also going to add 1 packet of instant yeast. That is 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast. So you'll add that in there. So inside of this bowl, I have 1.5 teaspoons of sugar, 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, and then I also added 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder and dried basil. You don't have to add the garlic powder or dried basil. It just gives it, the dough itself, an extra flavor. So that's why I'm using it. All right, and to that, we're going to also add our olive oil. So I have 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Just go ahead and put that right into the bowl. And then we're also going to add 3/4 cup of warm water. And then we're going to go ahead and start mixing this. All right, and now that this has started to mix, we're going to go ahead and start adding the rest of our flour. So you're just going to add as much flour as you need, which would be somewhere between maybe a cup to a cup and a half. You just want the dough to start pulling away from the sides. So inside this bowl, I had the remainder of my 2.5 cups. So there should be 1.5 cups inside of this container. We're basically just mixing it until it becomes a dough ball. You don't have to knead it or anything. Alright, so here's my dough ball. It's still slightly sticky, but I can still pick it up. So now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take the same bowl that I made this dough ball in, and I'm just gonna drizzle some olive oil around the sides. And we're just gonna let this sit out and proof for about 30 minutes. It's not gonna be for very long. You just leave it on your counter while you're doing anything else. All right, so pizza dough has been rising for about 30 minutes. It's gotten nice and poofy. So now I'm just gonna knead this a little bit, not a whole lot. If you needed to, you can put some flour down. Because there's oil on it, I really don't need the flour. But you're just going to knead this into a little dough ball. Okay, so here is our pizza dough ball. So from here, it's kind of up to you. I'm making this so I can freeze it. So what I do is I'll make a bunch of pizza dough balls and I will put them into Ziploc bags. And I put a little bit of oil inside the bag just so that whenever I need to take it out, it's easy to take out. And this can freeze for a good couple months. You don't have to worry about it. So if you aren't going to freeze your dough ball, you're just going to take a rolling pin, roll this out to about 12 inches. That's how big of a pizza you'll get out of this. You can also cut this in half and make small pizzas if you wanted to. That's what me and my husband do because we like different toppings. You're gonna roll it out to 12 inches. Make sure that you dock it, which is like poking holes in the bottom of the pizza crust, so there's no air bubbles. So you don't have to worry about like large air bubbles happening to your pizza. And this is gonna go into the oven at 425 with all of your toppings and stuff on it for about somewhere between 10 to 15 minutes, depending on the size of your pizza, and also depending on how many toppings you put on there. Because if you put a lot, it takes a little bit longer to bake the pizza. But I am going to put this into the freezer. I just put it into a Ziploc bag. So I generally put it into a large Ziploc bag because even though this is going into the freezer, it is still in dough form, which means it'll probably expand a little bit. So if you were to wrap it into like plastic wrap, it'll bust out of the plastic wrap, which will make the dough kind of, it'll get freezer burnt that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a bag. I just put a little bit of oil in there. Just enough to kind of coat the sides. And then I'll take my dough ball and I'll place it in there. Try to squeeze out as much air as I can. And then this will go into my freezer until I am ready to use it. So whenever you are going to make it after you put it in the freezer, you can thaw it in your fridge or you can leave it out at room temperature. Because that oil is in there, it should be easy to take out of the bag. So you shouldn't have to worry about if you leave it at room temperature, like the dough will be super sticky or like that. I will make sure that whenever I make this pizza, I take a picture of it and show it to you. But there you go, guys. That is our delicious pizza dough. I like to make these in bulk and kind of have like a couple extra pizzas because we do have like emergency pizza days whenever we both kind of just don't feel like really putting a lot of effort into cooking. So we just roll out a pizza, put it in the oven. Recently, we've been getting like frozen pizzas, but for some odd reason, like our oven doesn't really do a frozen pizza well. It's a whole thing. It came with a manual with like 4 or 5 different pizza settings, and I don't know where that manual went, so whatever. This is what we're doing. So it's our pizza dough. So this is gonna go into the freezer until I am ready to use it. All right, and there you have it, guys. Delicious pizza dough ready to use whenever you are ready to make a pizza. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe down below, and please let me know what are your favorite toppings of pizza, how your pizza turned out, and I will see you next time. Bye.